Within a thousandth of a second of the detonation of this bomb, a fireball would form, reaching out for 2 miles in every direction, 4 miles across. Within this area, temperatures would rise to 20 million degrees Fahrenheit, which is hotter than the surface of the sun, and everything would be vaporized. The buildings, the people, the trees, the upper level of the earth itself.
Without the destruction of your enemies, you cannot be delivered.
They want the American dream. They have made America home. As their sons get shot in the street and imprisoned.
With Negroes spending $1 trillion a year, I don't think we really have an economic problem. We don't have an economic problem. What we have is a mental brain problem.
But they don't realize this is a spiritual battle. You're not going to overcome your problems in modern day society with economics.
Your enemies have to be destroyed because that's where you're trying to get deliverance from.
All right, let's open up with Romans chapter 7. It's been said many times, some of you may have heard it, some of you may have not, that black people, and when I make the statement black people, I hope you all know I'm including all the 12 tribes. It's been said that black people are the most spiritual people on the earth. Too spiritual to be any earthly good. That's what I've often heard. We pray every day in the name of Jesus, 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 and we're looking for the white man to come save us. But let's examine if black people are truly a spiritual people based upon Romans chapter 7 and verse 14, please. Let's start there.
Romans chapter 7 and verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
For we know that the law is spiritual. Go ahead.
But I am carnal, sold under sin.
But I am carnal, sold under sin. What it means, I am carnal, sold under sin. The precept for that is when King David said, "In sin did my mother conceive me." That's a reference point for that. But I want the beginning of that verse. Read that part again.
For we know that the law is spiritual.
Stop right there. I'm going to give an example. Give me Deuteronomy 22 and 5.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
Now to understand the spiritual, remember we just read the law is spiritual. Who can tell me the spiritual connotation behind Deuteronomy 22 and 5? What is it saying? I see 4 hands, only 5. Okay, 5. Let me hear this brother right here with the chain on his neck. You got to give me your name, brothers. Y'all know I'm slow. Come on.
Shalom, brother Amaziah.
Amaziah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a spiritual thing because it says the woman should not wear what pertains unto a man. When a woman puts on a pants, it puts a man's spirit behind her. And that's like an abominable spirit because like it goes into multiple things. Like she could begin to like other females. She may want to play the role of being a man, and it goes for the man also. When the man wears a dress, he's going to want to talk to guys and do effeminate things. So that's the spiritual thing behind it.
Very good, very good. Now give me, read that again, Captain Isaac.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
Very good. Give me Leviticus 20:13 with that.
Leviticus chapter 20 verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death.
So from there, that's the spirit. That's the analysis of it. Really, actually, give me Romans 1, which talks about men and women. I should have went there because Leviticus 20, somebody might say, that's only talking about the man. Give me Romans 1 and get to the point about women.
Romans 1 verse 26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affection. For even their woman did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So now you may be asking yourself, some of you haven't caught on to it yet, Deuteronomy 22 and 5 about the dress code, when God said don't cross-dress, the spiritual aspect to that verse is what we're reading here. There's a cause and effect of breaking all God's laws. Read that again.
For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their woman did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet.
So you have the male and the female aspect of Deuteronomy 22, verse 5. So for the carnal person who's not spiritually minded at all, give me that real quick in Corinthians chapter 2. It might be 1 Corinthians 2 around 14, 15, where it says, talks about the carnal mind and the spiritual. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, about the natural man.
Yeah, that one.
1 Corinthians 2:14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God.
The natural man is the sinful man. He does not receive the what?
Receive the things of the Spirit of God.
Meaning the words of God. He cannot understand them. Go ahead.
For they are foolishness unto him.
Right. When you read Deuteronomy 22 and 5 to the natural man, the sinful man, he goes, that's foolishness. That makes no sense. Go ahead.
Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned.
You see that part right there? For they are spiritually discerned. So coming in this truth, we got to spiritually discern what is the correlation between Deuteronomy, what is the spiritual aspect of Deuteronomy 22 and 5? Just for example, read.
But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. For who hath known the mind of the Lord?
That was it. Allah, but you was going to say something?
Yes, Bishop. When you went, go back to the woman one more time and read when you first begin with that 26. Because Christ says something very heavy. Because he was talking in John 3, when he was talking to the Pharisee, the brother in John 3, he said, if I explain to you earthly thing, you will not understand. What make me think that if I explain it to you, heavenly thing, you're going to understand? Listen to what he's saying here.
Romans 1:26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections.
Go ahead.
For even their woman did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
Stop. That which is against nature. Nature can teach her how the male or how the female is supposed to be. You understand? Because in the nature, you looking at the animals, you don't see two female together. You don't see two men together. Because nature herself can teach her something. But she don't listen to nature herself because she from the earth. The Lord wants you to know that nature himself can teach you something. Remember? Go ahead.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly.
Because it's unseemly. Because you hardly can see it in the animal world. You hardly can see it in this earth. You know what I mean? What God created. You understand? It's unseemly. Go ahead, Bishop.
Exactly. So today's class, we're going to talk about a colonized, occupied population. A colonized, occupied population. I heard an Edomite say that one time, and that thing stuck in my brain. I'm going to show out a video today, Lord's will, with him mentioning that. Our people sit in white establishments called churches, praying to a white image, praying to be loved, praying to be hugged, praying to be, somebody hold me. Praying for the American dream, praying for wealth to be better in today's society. And you know why our people want wealth? We don't want wealth so we can help ourselves, our family, and our people. We want wealth so that we can say, I'm better than you. That's the majority of why our people want wealth. That's why we want money. If you don't believe me, look in the churches today, look in the rap world at our people who are financially well off. Those are the ones who, what do they call that word? Floss. They will have, you on a bus, but they will drive, they got 5 and 6 cars. They'll do songs about how, and they'll go to clubs and throw $100 bills out. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all seen some of them videos out there. So, black people are not as spiritual as people like to say. They say, y'all are spiritual people. What they mean is we are a hypocritical people. I'm going to tell you, that's the real underlying thing behind it. Because we will hold a Bible in our hands and say, Jesus, 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 but we will not do anything written in this book. So how spiritual are we? Okay. So Romans 7:14 one more time.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
We know that the law is spiritual. So in order to be a spiritual people, we must be doing God's laws. Now watch this. Give me 1 Timothy 1, I think it's verse 9. 1 Timothy 1, verse 9, about God's law. I'm going to show y'all something heavy about God's law.
1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man.
The law is not made for a righteous man. Now, you got people in the church that say, yeah, we under grace, we not under God's law. This is going to explain who the law is for. Read it again.
Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man.
But for who?
But for the lawless and disobedient.
For the lawless and disobedient. Come on.
For the ungodly.
For the ungodly.
And for sinners.
And for sinners. Go ahead.
For unholy and
for
profane.
Unholy and what?
Profane.
And profane. Go ahead.
For murderers of fathers.
For murderers of fathers.
And murderers of mothers.
And murderers of mothers.
For manslayers.
Now, typically what our people do, we will associate all of this that we've read thus far to the white man. Not realizing that what Paul is writing to Timothy is for us. We are the lawless and disobedient, the ungodly. We are the sinners. We are the unholy. We are the profane. We are those who have murdered fathers. We are those who have murdered mothers. For manslayers, guess what? The prisons are filled with a lot of our people. Not by accident. Oh, by design. No, our people, some of our people are in prison because they deserve to be in there. I'm going to tell you straight. There's been many a phone call I had to enter. Listen good to what I'm about to say without saying too much. There have been many a phone call I have had to intercept with Negroes putting hits on people that they tried to rob that could identify them. And it was no white man saying, yeah, put a hit out on her and kill her kids too. Negroes, Latinos, our people. So that's why you can't come to me with no foolishness about, oh, yes, the white man's the problem of everything. Stop. That might work on the average hood rat on the street, but it don't work on us, the men of the Most High. Read on.
For whoremongers.
Are our people not whoremongers? We, even the white woman, what's the devil's name? Standard. Glory, what's her name? Gloria Steiner. She said they are, what did she say about us? Irresponsible breeders.
Margaret Sanger.
Margaret Sanger. It's Margaret Sanger. That's who that. One of the mothers of the eugenics. She said irresponsible breeders. We will have reckless breeders. We will have kids, pregnant the woman, and bounce. Is that not our people? I don't know nobody named Kathy Black. Look it up for us. Read on.
For whoremongers.
Uh-huh.
For them that defile themselves with mankind.
Oh, that's the homos. You don't. Read on.
For men stealers.
Uh-huh.
For liars.
Oh, men stealers. You might be saying that's only the white man. How many times in the news you see black girls in Atlanta and New York snatched into a van driven by Negroes, trapped in there, taken to another part of the country, and then put on the street as prostitutes? We like to associate anything bad with white folks. That's true to some degree, but guess what? We in this situation, this captivity, because of our own sin. Does everybody understand that? We're going to see. Come on.
For men stealers. For liars.
Are not we a bunch of liars, our people? God calls us lying children. Go ahead.
For perjured persons.
Perjured person. You know what a perjured, you go in there, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, then lie. That's our people. Straight up. Go ahead.
And if there be any other thing that
and if there be any other thing, because Paul didn't mention all the sins, he just did an abbreviation of sins. Read that part again. And if
there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine.
Watch this.
According to the glorious gospel of the blessed God.
Wait a minute. The law is what? Read the verse again. The law is what? According
to the glorious gospel of the blessed God.
I thought the law had nothing to do with the gospel. We have been deceived by this white man for too long. The law is based upon the gospel. Or let me put it this, the gospel is based upon the law. The good news is that we're being redeemed from captivity. How? By applying the laws through Jesus Christ. Read verse 11 one more time.
According to
Now I want you to look at the bottom of verse 10. Read the last verse, and if
there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine,
y'all see that semicolon? Meaning he's going to continue his thought. Go ahead.
according to the glorious gospel of the blessed God.
So the law is according to the glorious gospel. So what are these Christians talking about? These spiritual Christians. What is mama or your auntie talking about? We don't got to do the law. The law was made for us. Does everybody understand that? All right, all right. Now, while people are spiritual on another standpoint, I'm going to show you the spirituality that Negroes and Latinos have. Give me Hosea 9 and 7. This is the spirituality in the Christian church. Hosea 9 verse 7 explains how spiritual our people are in the church.
Hosea chapter 9 and verse 7. The days of visitation are come.
The days of visitation are come.
The days of recompense are come.
The days of judgment are come.
Israel shall know it.
Israel shall know it.
The prophet is a fool.
The prophet is a fool.
The spiritual man is mad.
The spiritual man is crazy. That's in your churches. The spiritual man is mad, meaning crazy, out of their mind. That's your Kemetic community too, because they like to say they spiritual. They are crazy. Was that it, Captain?
For the multitude of thine iniquity.
Why? Why are they mad and crazy? For the multitude of what?
Of thine iniquity.
Of our sins, our breaking of God's laws. Was that it?
And the great hatred.
And the great hatred. What is the great hatred? Hatred against God's word, against God's laws. That's the great hatred we have for God's laws. That's why we're in the situation we're in today. Give me Luke 18. So as spiritual as the church, as people claim the church to be, what church, anybody can answer the question, what modern Christian church is praying for vengeance against our captors? Name one. Is it the Baptists? Mm-mm. Is it the Pentecostals? Mm-mm. Is it the Catholics? Mm-mm. Is it the Mormons? Mm-mm. Nobody is doing what the Bible said in context with vengeance. Read that for me, Luke 18. I'm going to get to the point, verse 5 through 8. This is what all churches are to be praying for. Go ahead.
Luke 18, verse 5. Yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her
Do you hear that key word? Avenge, avenge. I will avenge her. Go ahead.
Lest by her continual coming,
lest by her continual praying,
she worry me.
She weary me. Go ahead.
And the Lord said,
and Christ said,
hear what the unjust judge saith.
Do you hear what the unjust judge said? Go ahead.
And shall not God
the Almighty, the King of heaven and earth,
avenge his own elect?
Avenge his own elect,
which cry day and night unto him,
which pray day and night unto him. Go ahead.
Though he bear along with them. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily.
Christ said, I tell you, the Most High will avenge you of your enemies speedily. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?
Will that spirit be on the earth? Most people, I guarantee the majority, but I dare take a guess and say 80% of the people in here alone do not pray for vengeance against our oppressors. Because we still stuck on white man Jesus. No, I'm not supposed to pray for that. Then you watch the news as our men get shot down in the streets from sun up to sundown. Then you sit there, maybe we should vote. Voting does not help. Christ said, pray for vengeance. You don't want to do it. That's for Israelites too. The spiritual Israelites. We don't want to do it. I'm not doing that. Yeah, Jesus said it, but I don't know if I should do that. What did my auntie say? Auntie says, no, don't pray for that baby. No, that ain't right. Are you crazy? This is why it says the spiritual man is mad. We're insane. Give me Sirach 36. the precept with Luke 18, Surah 36, 1 through 8. We're not supposed to pray for our enemies, although Jesus said to do it. So how spiritual are the churches? These churches are just crazy.
Sirach 36, verse 1 through 8. Have mercy upon us, O Lord God of all, and behold us, and send thy fear upon all the nations.
What? And what?
And send thy fear upon all the nations.
Send your fear upon all the nations. This is what our forefathers prayed. Go ahead.
That seek not after thee. Lift up thy hand against the strange nations.
Lift up your hand, O Lord, against the strange nations, meaning non-Israelites. Go ahead.
And let them see thy power.
And let them see thy power. Come on.
As thou wast sanctified in us before them, so be thou magnified among them before us.
Come on.
And let them know thee, as we have known thee, that there is no God but only thou, O God.
Come on.
Show new signs and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works.
Read.
Raise up indignation.
Raise up indignation.
And pour out wrath.
Who's praying for this? Who is acknowledging that this is true? I said it before, I'm saying it again. Most of us in here don't believe that we are to be praying this. Read that again.
Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary.
Wait a minute. Do you see that part? Take away the adversary. Is not that what Christ just said in Luke 18? To pray for vengeance. This is what we're reading right here. I don't know if I should be doing that. Read it again.
Raise up indignation and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary and destroy the enemy.
Wait a minute. And destroy the enemy. Destroy the enemy. We're to pray that God destroy our enemy. This is the same thing Luke 18 Christ instructed us to do. But oh no, a lot of us got that, help me out here, the image of the beast in our head saying, don't do it. Yeah, Stockholm Syndrome, don't do it.
Hey, that's it right there. Stockholm Syndrome.
That's it right there. Where we at? Go ahead.
Verse 8. Make the time short. Remember the covenant and let them declare thy wonderful works.
So now, not only are modern day Christians not praying for vengeance as we are instructed by the Son of God to do, none of them are praying for the unity of our people.
You know what proves that, Bishop? A lot of times we'll go into the Psalms where we read about, it says, happy shall he be that taketh thy little ones and dash them against the stones. You was making the point, and you're correct, the majority of us in him hear that and get squeamish. To the point sometimes you feel like you have to give a disclaimer when you read the scriptures. Like you have to prepare the people for what's coming out the Bible.
Exactly.
Why in the world should we have to do that for men? We have to be like, hold on, brothers. Hold on to yourselves. Like, don't get squishy. Hold on, don't run out the door. Why in the hell should I have to prepare you for that? When you're the very victims of every accolade of violence that you can think of. All of the wars, everything that's against our people is directed towards you. And yet we have to hold the Bible's vengeance back because brothers gonna get weak-hearted.
Exactly. So not only are they're not praying for that, Deacon, nobody wants, the churches, the Christian churches are not praying for the unity of our people, according to Scripture. Give me that, Zephaniah 2:1. We read this last week. No church is praying for this. So all these Christian churches are fraudulent. They're frauds. They're imposters set up by the white man. Every last Christian church. Read that.
Zephaniah 2 verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
You see what it says, O nation? That's singular. Not plural. Nation is singular. It's not plural. Because in modern day Christianity, who are they saying they want to gather together? All nations. All nations. That's the crap they teach in the churches. With their multiculturalism. All nations come together. Yeah, come. Everybody in Jesus come together. Then where does our race always end up in multiculturalism? On the bottom. On the bottom begging for scraps. Nobody has figured this out yet. Multiculturalism does not work. Multiculturalism is against God. Give me that as proof. We're coming back to that thought. Give me that in Deuteronomy 32:8.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8.
Now this was after. Wait, before we get that, give me that with Nimrod. Nimrod, Genesis. We went over this in Jamaica. Genesis. Nimrod. Is it 10 or is it 6? 11, thank you. Let's get to the point.
Genesis chapter 11 and verse 6. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city.
Go ahead.
Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
So the Lord scattered all the people, because all the people were acting as one. Okay, that's what's happening. They were building a tower up to God. So he confounded all the languages, divided the people up according to their languages, and hence came forth nations. Watch this. After this, we get to the time of Moses. Give me Deuteronomy 32 and 8.
Deuteronomy 32 and 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam.
No, brought them all together. What did it say again?
Separated the sons of Adam.
Uh-huh.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
So it was never God's intent to bring all nations together. That was never his plan. But in Christianity, I'm going to show you the foot of Christianity, the foundation goes back to ancient Babylon with Nimrod. Now let's take you up in history with the Greeks. Give me 1 Maccabees 1 and 41.
1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Here we go again. The Greeks were doing the same thing Nimrod did at the Tower of Babel. Go ahead.
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Y'all see that? So the same thing from ancient Babylon that the Lord confounded was brought back again during the time of the Greeks. And the Lord saw the same thing. This is what Judah Maccabees and was fighting against. Okay? Now give me, is it Habakkuk 2 I want? Give me Habakkuk 2. Yeah.
Real quick, get the definition of Catholic real quick. We dealt with Babylon. The elder mentioned Greece. So now I'm gonna show y'all Rome. Because remember, the Greco-Romans conquered Greece and they merged into one, Greco-Roman Empire. And all Christian denominations today derive from the Catholic Church. Now, blow it up real quick. Go to more. This is exactly what I wanted. It says Catholic. It says synonyms: universal, diverse, diversified, wide. Wide is the gate to destruction. Broad, broad-based, eclectic, liberal. Be homosexual, come as you are. Love is love. The same thing. Liberal, latitudinarian, comprehensive, all-encompassing, all-embracing, all-inclusive of the Roman Catholic faith. Go down. Go to translations and word origin. See the word means. Go down. Catholic. Catholicos. It says, with respect to whole, meaning everyone respects all as one. That's what it means. Go back, go down. Missing something. Go back up again, go back up. It says something about Christian. Go up more, go up some more. More. There we go. Of the Roman Catholic faith, of or including all Christians, of or relating to the historic doctrine and practice of the Western Church, which is Roman Empire again, Roman Catholic Church. So all modern Christianity comes back to the Catholic Church, which is all inclusive, all come together, which goes back to Greece, which goes back to Babylon. Same exact thing.
What people are failing to realize is though, although they claim that the Catholicism religion is about being inclusive of all people, and Negroes get happy with that because they say, you know what, I get a chance to be equal with everybody else. There's none of these religions that's going to really respect you, regardless of what you join. You joining in them, and they're telling you that it's all about everybody, but they're still looking at you as that old nigga. That's right. Even in the churches. I'm telling you straight. You don't want to hear that? You look at the images that they have in the church. Does any of them reflect you?
Look at their holidays.
At their holidays, does any of them reflect you? You be sitting in there talking about something. Yeah, I'm part of this universal thing, and no part of their literature favors you. No part of the reality that you face in your own community. The church don't deal with it. The Catholic, none of it deals with your real situation at all. You just blindly follow, and you're taught to hate every nuance about yourself and just join them at the cost of everything about you. You don't love your family, your kids, your father, mother, nothing. All that's disregarded. And you can't even speak about your conditions in this so-called Catholic oneness of church. You can't even bring it up.
Now let's go to Babylon. Habakkuk chapter 2. This Babylon and Habakkuk 2 is prophetic of the Babylon we live in today. I'm going to show you that. Habakkuk 2 and 5.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse.
And what I'm showing y'all is that all-inclusive, universal religion went from the time of ancient Babylon under Nimrod to the Greeks, to the Romans, to the Catholic Church of today, and United States of America. Read that.
Habakkuk 2 and 5. Ye also. Yea also, because he transgresseth by wine.
The wine, what is the precept? Somebody raise your hand for me. What is the precept that explains wine? Only 4 brothers. All right, let me hear you right here with the pen in your hand. Yeah, you. What is the precept?
Shalom. Micah 2:11.
What's your name?
Luke.
Luke?
Yes, sir.
Micah 2 and 11. Let's get that.
Micah 2 and 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie.
Saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine.
I will prophesy unto thee of wine. Go ahead.
And of strong drink.
Read the whole verse again. This is explaining the wine.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie.
Falsehood and lies. Saying what?
I will prophesy unto thee of wine.
I will prophesy unto thee of wine. So the wine makes reference in some scriptures to falsehood and lies. Let's go back to Habakkuk.
Habakkuk 2 and verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine.
Yea, because he transgresseth by falsehood, by lies. Go ahead.
He is a proud man.
This proud man is your friendly neighborhood white man. Go ahead.
Neither keepeth at home.
He doesn't keep at home. His military is all over the planet Earth. Go ahead.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell.
Right. Every place he goes becomes hell where he puts his foot down in his military bases. Go ahead.
And is as death.
His policies and religions is as death. Go ahead.
And cannot be satisfied.
Uh-huh.
But gathereth
This is the point here. Watch this good.
But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
That's the United States of America. It goes right back to ancient Babylon that we read in Genesis 11. It goes back to the time of the Greeks when it said, let's all come together, have one religion, be one people, have one religion. America's doing the same thing today, and our people in the Christian church cannot figure it out yet. We've been here 400 years and have not figured this thing out yet. Now jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9.
To prove further, it's this white man.
Woe to him that coveteth in evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high.
What is his nest that he sets on high, brothers? Who got a clue in here? Yes, in the back, put your hand up. Yeah, you. Yes. That he may set his nest on high.
Shalom, Bishop.
Shalom.
Brother Anthony.
Anthony.
It's talking about when he set his, it's talking about when he first landed on the moon.
Yes, that's right. And what did he say?
He said the eagle has landed.
He said the eagle has landed. So the nest he landed was when he landed on the moon and proclaimed the eagle has landed, meaning the United States of America has landed. Babylon the Great has landed. Read that again, Captain Isaac.
Woe to him that coveteth in evil covetousness to his house.
Because the moon He covered it to his house. The moon was not, the flag he put on the moon wasn't for everybody. It was his flag. It wasn't the Russian flag. It wasn't the Chinese flag. It was not any of Africa's dusty flags. It was the flag of the United States of America. Read the verse again.
Woe to him that coveteth in evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high.
Go ahead.
That he may be delivered from the power of evil.
Because he know destruction is coming. He figured he got an escape plan. Let's build things on the moon so that when evil destruction comes, we good, we safe.
Who's the we? We're reading that as Esau, right? So when it says that he should be delivered from the power of evil, he ain't talking about everybody else. He's talking about himself only.
Exactly.
So there's your him wanting to be with everybody again.
Exactly.
That's just an illusion.
So what church is praying for the unity of our peoples? None. We read Zephaniah 2:1. Give me Sirach 36:11. What church is praying for these things? Sirach 36, which is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 36, verse 11. And yes, the Apocrypha was in the Septuagint, okay? The Greek Septuagint, which was compiled in 200 BC. You simple people out there. And yes, it was in a Latin Vulgate in 400 AD. You simple people out there. Read that for me.
Sirach 36:11. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together.
Gather all the tribes of Jacob together. What church is praying for this? Was that it?
And inherit thou them as from the beginning.
You see that? And inherit thou them as from the beginning. Give me Matthew 15:24 now. That's what Christ said.
Matthew 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So people get stupid. They'll read the words of Christ, the Son of God, and say he made a mistake right there because that's not what he means.
They don't read that in the church. Can you all imagine them reading that in the Christian church? Huh? Talk to me. Can you imagine the passage? Let's turn to the book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 24. And then they begin reading it. When all of the people in the church go look at the preacher and say, preacher, why in the world are you reading that? None of them are ready to even hear that. They act like that's that black highlighter.
Right.
They will black that part out of the Bible.
Exactly. So what's interesting is that we've read about Nimrod at the Tower of Babel, gathering all nations together. We read how God confounded that thing, divided the nations up. We read how the Greeks tried to gather all nations together. The Maccabees came and smashed that. Then we read about America heaping all nations. Now, here we go. We read Christ, how he said, I'm only for Israel, the lost sheep of Israel. Now we get to John 3:16. Come on. We get here. And the churches, the Christian church, your friendly neighborhood white man says, we can use John 3:16 to implement our agenda. Come on.
John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Then they slam the Bible closed and go, see, everybody, all nations. Do you see it would be a blatant contradiction of all that we have gone through thus far from the Tower of Babel, then have the Lord come do what he said he don't want to be done. Did that make sense? Yeah, that made sense what I just said, right?
Right. All of the parts of the Bible, he's about separation, but he going to get to John 3:16 and tell me he loved the whole world.
Exactly.
That ain't the Bible.
Exactly. Then they go, oh, the apostle. You don't know the apostle Paul either. Give me Acts 26:7.
Acts chapter 26 and verse 7. Unto which promise our 12 tribes.
This is Paul standing before the white man. Read it again.
Unto which promise our 12 tribes.
Unto which promise our 12 tribes.
Instantly serving God day and night, hope to come, for which hope's sakes, King Agrippa, I am accused of the Jews.
So Paul was called in question about the gathering of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's why he was brought before Agrippa. That's why the Jews kept accusing him, because the gathering would only come under the Messiah, which Paul was teaching. They got mad at that thing. So here we are today, going into the next false new year of 2017, talking about all nations. God is for all nations coming together. And here's a biggie. Because you know they use Matthew 28 where Christ said, go ye into all nations, forgetting, purposely neglecting and rejecting the prophecy that Israel would be scattered into all nations. They said, no, we don't want to explain that history. Let's just say all nations and manipulate that. Let's pervert the gospel with that. That's what they do. Here's my next question. When Israel was in captivity under Egypt, we prayed for deliverance, right? When Israel was in captivity under Persian Media, we prayed for deliverance. When Israel was under Greek captivity, Israel prayed for deliverance from being under Greek captivity.
Still has some sense then.
When Israel was under Roman captivity, we prayed for deliverance from being under Rome. Now we're under the United States of America. Here's the question. What Christian church is praying for deliverance from being here? None of them. Not near one of them. We march in the streets protesting about white supremacy, but nobody's praying for deliverance from this place. Oh, your mamas might be praying that when they die, they go up yonder, up to heaven, but nobody wants to be delivered from here. Nobody. Everybody wants to make this American dream happen. All your Christian churches want to stay. They said Barack Obama is our black Moses. Number one, Moses was black already. Number two, Moses came to deliver us from captivity. Barack Obama was not set up to deliver us from captivity. He was set up to keep us in captivity. Hello, you Christians out there.
They didn't like that.
I know they didn't like that thing. That's why we had to give them that
all.
medicine. So what church is praying to leave this place? What church? Give me Hebrews 13:14. They read the Bible, but nobody praying to be delivered from captivity. Sure, you might move to Dimona, Israel. You might move to Ghana. You might move to some place outside of Europe. But the vast majority of us are still here in Babylon. Who's praying for deliverance? Because if you pray for deliverance, guess what you're also praying for? Destruction. There's no delivery without destruction. Let's prove that first. Give me that Wisdom of Solomon. Where's that at? Chapter 16 or 17? Where's that at? Somebody help me. Wisdom of Solomon. Anybody found it yet? 18:7. Thank you.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse
You're going to say the Lord's Prayer. You don't know what you're praying for. Thy kingdom come. You don't know what you're saying. Here's the explanation when you say, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth. Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 7. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies.
That thy will be done. Deliverance of the righteous and destruction of the enemies.
Can we read that again?
Go ahead.
So of thy people was accepted both the
Stop. Was accepted what?
both.
Both. The Negro don't want to accept both.
Right.
He wants just one part of it. He don't want to deal with the second part of it. Read it again.
So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous.
So if you want to accept the salvation of the righteous, we call ourselves righteous, don't we? In the church and all that. We call ourselves righteous. We want to be delivered. Well, you will not get this deliverance except what?
So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies.
Without the destruction of your enemies, you cannot be delivered. Your enemies have to be destroyed because that's where you're trying to get deliverance from.
That's why the Christian church don't pray for that. They don't want this thing. They want the American dream. They want this. They have made America home.
Exactly.
As their sons get shot in the street and imprisoned, gonorrhea and syphilis is on a rise, HIV is running rampant, they still want to stay here. Give me Hebrews 13:4. So if you call yourself the righteous, we must be praying for these things. So again, what church is praying to leave the lands of our captivity to go back home? Give me that, Hebrews 13:14.
Hebrews 13:14. For here have we no continuing city.
For here have we no continuing city. Now, Paul said that because he knew what was coming in 70 AD. He said Jerusalem about to be destroyed. So likewise us, here we have no continuing city. Go ahead.
But we seek one to come.
But we seek one to come. Was that it?
Yes, sir.
Give me chapter 11, verse 16.
Hebrews 11, verse 16. But now they desire a better country.
But now they desire a better country. What Christian church is desiring a better country? None. Because they all want to stay here in America. United States of America. Everybody wants to stay here. Nobody's praying for deliverance. Say it again. Read it again.
But now they desire a better country, that is in heavenly. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God.
You know what, when they say, you see that part where it says heavenly? Every Christian that's snuck up in here right now is thinking, yeah, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. Look, it's white man Jesus.
Y'all laughing, but you know that's exactly what they are expecting to see, white man Jesus.
Exactly.
Even though they know better.
Because the rapture, I was raised learning about the rapture. White man's going to come, snatch us up, and take us in the sky. And we're going to have wings and violins and flop around. Are you kidding me? See, they don't. Let me tell you something. These wicked black and Latin church, they don't want the kingdom of heaven the way the Bible says. Watch this. It could be Revelation 21. We want 10 through 14. No church want this. Because I've listened to many ministers. And I'll wait to see what scriptures. I heard one try to go through Deuteronomy 28. That was a laugh. Dummies. Stay out of our book. Stay out of our book. Revelation 21, 10 through 14. Watch this. Let's read about the kingdom of heaven on earth.
Revelation chapter 21 and verse 10. And he carried me away.
Remember Paul said, we seek another country. We seek a heavenly one to come. Watch this.
And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain.
Mountains are on the earth, are they not? So he's seeing something on earth, not up in the sky. Go ahead.
And showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God.
That's how beautiful it's going to look like it came from heaven itself. Go ahead.
Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates. And at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Churches don't talk about that. Because if you talk about that, somebody might say, excuse me, Pastor, who's Judah? Who's Ephraim? Who is Benjamin? Who have right to go through those gates with their names on it? Exactly. Nobody want to talk about that because they know as a Negro, there's no word on the gate that says Negro. There's no word on the gate that says Puerto Rican. There's no word on the gate that says Haitian. But the names of the 12 tribes of Israel are written. You got to know the tribes. Read.
Verse 13. On the east, 3 gates. On the north, 3 gates. On the south, 3 gates. And on the west, 3 gates.
That's a total of 12 gates. Go ahead.
And the wall of the city had 12 foundations.
So at these gates, there are 12 foundations. In the ground, when you walk on there, you get up to these gates, go ahead.
And in them, the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb.
You see that? The names of the 12 apostles are written at these 12 gates. So you're going to have Judah and an apostle's name written there. You have Benjamin on the top, then you have one of the apostles' name on the foundation. You have Ephraim at the top and one of the apostles' names at the bottom. No church want to talk about that.
No.
Nobody want to talk about that.
Why is it that none of the churches want to talk about? I like to dig into the psyche of the Negro. Why is it that the churches don't want to talk about these things that obviously are in the Bible? And y'all know it's in the Bible. You've hit many of these Christians upside the head with these scriptures, many of you, and they still deny it. My question is why? Why? Get that microphone in some of them hands. We reading things about the 12 tribes of Israel. It's clear. There's no such thing as that's your own interpretation. That's
Right.
what we reading. Why is it that they come with this kind of stuff?
Shalom, Brother Adam. Because it's contrary towards their doctrine. So if they were to bring it out, then it would make people question what they're saying.
Now you say it's contradictory to their doctrine.
Right.
What kind of doctrine is
Doctrine that everybody's saved through Christ.
it? Give me some more. That's not plain enough. You
Heaven-
got to hit it hard.
heaven-
See, when you're dealing with the Negro, you can't give him words where he can skate around it. You got to hit him hard, square with your knuckles right in the nose. Straight.
that the Gentiles that's going to be saved is the other nations.
What is it that they won't say? Why is it that they won't say it? You don't want to say it. I see you kind of nervous. You think a Christian going to hit you. Give the microphone to the next brother. Who's bold enough to say what it is? Why is it that the Negro, in particular, why is it that he shuns these scriptures? He don't want to hear about what we reading. It's obvious language. The names on the gates telling you clearly. The information about what Christ said only to the 12 tribes of Israel. These scriptures are plain. Why is it that the Negro has a problem with these scriptures?
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom.
One is they'll lose a lot of followers in the Christian church. They'll lose a lot of followers.
That ain't heavy enough. No? That ain't heavy enough. I'm gonna get it after this one. I see more hands. Come on. See y'all playing around. One more, and then y'all take too long to get it.
Shalom, leadership. They have to admit that the white man is not on the gates.
That's close enough. That's it there. That's the answer. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because white supremacy. That's the point. That's what the issue is. They are underneath the curse of all the brainwashing and the indoctrination of white supremacy. If we are not pleasing white man, we don't want to hear it. People don't want to accept that. If it is not about uplifting him, if it's not about seeking his comfort, because this Bible is like the smell of death to him. You understand? It's a sweet savor to us, but to him it's a smell of death. If you put the Bible in your hands and he comes around, you can't read the death scriptures to him. You got to give him the stuff that he likes. That's what's wrong with us.
You saw that in the movie Birth of a Nation about Nat Turner.
Exactly.
He said the same thing. He was forced to read the scriptures that he was commanded to read, but all the other stuff he was forbidden to.
We're still under that today.
So they like to say black people are spiritual. So again, how spiritual are we? We're only spiritual in the context of white supremacy. That's it. We are mad. We are insane people.
You mentioned something earlier about money. I wanted to tackle that when you said about if you give
we pray for wealth, but only so we can floss and look better than our brother.
Right. It goes further than that. Look, when you black folk, why do they want to look better than their brother for the purpose of what? To get close, because your skin ain't gonna change.
Right.
So if I can live a lavish life, maybe I can try to live like white folks. Maybe they will accept me because I have more money than my brother. Do y'all see this? The darker we are, the more money we have to spend to compensate for our darkness, to make us more white so that we'll be accepted.
Exactly.
Do y'all see the sickness?
Yes, lover.
Bishop, you know how the scriptures say our zeal is to keep God's law, statutes, and commandments. Our people's zeal is to live close to white folks. And that's their zeal. They go out to do whatever they got to do as long as they're close to white folks. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get that. Give me that in Romans 10. So I showed you the hypocrisy of the Christian church. The spirituality of the modern Christian church is that they are mad in insanity, according to Hosea 9:7. What church is praying for vengeance? None. What church is praying for the unity of our people? None. What church is praying to leave the lands of our captivity? None. Our people love white supremacy. Romans 10:2.
Romans 10 and verse 2. If I bear them record that they have a zeal of God.
Our people have a zeal of God, like Deacon Laba said. We have a zeal of God.
But not according to knowledge.
Meaning not according to the Bible. We have a zeal of God, but not according to the Bible as it is written. Was that it?
Yes, sir.
That was the whole verse?
Yes, sir.
Give me Hosea. Go to the book of Hosea. We often talk about critical black thinkers having the solution to all our problems, all our black problems. critical black thinkers. You had Frederick Douglass, Carter G. Woodson. I can only name a few. Amos Wilson, Booker T. Washington. What's the sister that talked? Joy LaGrue. I always get her name wrong.
Joy Leary.
Joy Leary. What's
Joy
the
to
sister
go.
that just died? She wrote the ISIS papers. What's her name?
Francis Cress.
Francis Cresslow?
Cress Wilson.
Cress Wilson.
Wilson.
These are critical black thinkers who can figure out and strategize all our problems. But we are still stuck in the same condition today. They want, and you know, a lot of them, like you hear them today, especially these young, they're not even scholars. They claim they got scholarship. They don't. But what they want to do is remove the Bible from our people. They say that Bible is think about all the black critical thinkers. They all condemn the Bible. All of them.
That's
Meaning
true.
they have nothing good to say about it. They say that's the white man's book. That's what they say.
That's sick.
It is sick. So they want to replace the Bible. I heard one alleged critical thinker who claims to have scholarship. He wants to replace the Bible with voodoo.
Damn.
He said voodoo is don't get happy, Lava. He said voodoo is the black man's religion. I said, is this Negro crazy?
So he's a victim of voodoo.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he's talking that way.
Another one, because I sit back and watch him and listen. One says voodoo, another one wants to replace the Bible with sexual confusion. They say, with the LGBT community and Black Lives Matter, they say gays are the new blacks. Are you kidding me? Name a gay person that went on slave ships because he's sexually confused. You show me one, not near one.
Do you realize how disrespectful that statement is to us? For them to attribute and say, what is it? What they say?
Gay is the new black.
Gay is the new black. That means this society, whoever allowed that statement to even leave anyone's lips, that
Black
they have
lips.
total contempt
For
for our people.
Yep.
Total disrespect. Don't give a damn about none of you.
Exactly.
That's what that means. 'Cause
Go ahead.
insulting words like that should infuriate every last one of us. And they don't give a damn about you being infuriated.
Exactly. And you know what they all agree on replacing the Bible with? Economics. You heard that. There's another one. What's the light-skinned black brother's name? He used to work with Clinton. Claude Anderson.
Claude Anderson.
Very smart brother. I give him his props. And a lot of these people that I've mentioned are
sound
very
good.
articulate and smart as hell. But they don't realize this is a spiritual battle. You're not going to overcome your problems in modern day society with economics.
Hey, with Negroes spending $1 trillion a year, I don't think we really have an economic problem.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't have an economic problem. What we have is a mental brain problem. That's what the problem is. Our brain is upside down. We don't understand how to use and organize. And the only proper organization is going to come is when you come through this Bible. This is what we have not tried yet.
We've
Go ahead,
not
Bishop.
tried it. Give me Hosea chapter 8 and verse 12.
Hosea chapter 8 and verse 12.
Can you wait till I get it, please? I appreciate you, Captain Isaac. I do appreciate you. Oh, just go ahead. I ain't going to catch you. I got it now. Go ahead. All right.
I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing.
The Lord gave us his writings, and our people count the Bible as a strange thing. That's the white man's book, my brother. Shut the hell up.
You know what? Can you read that again?
Yeah.
Because I'm going for what you just said.
Hosea 8 and 12. I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing.
The laws of God is counted as a strange thing. And what they say, this is the white man's book. The Negro is strange as hell. That's what his problem is. I have never, in all my years, have read a Bible, I'm just going to say it plain, that was so pro-black
Exactly.
and so anti-white than the Bible. I'm going to say it again. And I ain't going to dress it up either. I have not seen a book, read a book, and I've read many. So I don't want to say, well, that's because you ain't read any books. No, the Bible has it. I have never read or came across a Bible that was so much pro-black, if you will, and anti-white than the Bible. Once I read about Esau and Jacob and was able to prove both sides with undeniable facts, there's no other book in the universe that can identify these two people as much as the Bible does and give you both futures of both. The Bible.
Exactly. So economics is not the problem. Okay, give me Isaiah 30 and 8, and let's read down. Isaiah 30 and 8.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book.
The book Isaiah is talking about is what we call today the Bible. Go ahead.
That it may be for the time to come, forever and ever.
That the prophecies may be for time to come, and that they may be forever and forever. Go ahead.
That this is a rebellious people.
God's word, the Bible says, our people, blacks, Latinos, Native Indians, we are a rebellious people. Just as Black Lives Matter. Just as the Kemetic community. Just as the Christian church. We are a rebellious people. Go ahead.
Lying children.
What does it say?
Lying children.
God, see, you can't get no more insulting than the Bible. God going to tell us about ourselves to our face. He says we are a bunch of liars. Lying children. Go ahead.
Children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
That is the problem. We will walk around with a Bible and say, thank you, Jesus, God bless you, but we will not do the law of the Bible. L-A-W. We rebel against that. Go ahead.
Which say to the seers.
Which say to the seers. Hold that. Give me 1 Samuel 9:9 to explain seers. Because people look, what's that word, seers?
1 Samuel chapter 9 and verse 9. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God, thus he spake, come, and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer.
So everybody understand that the word seer is prophet. A seer is a prophet. Let's go back to Isaiah 30, please, in verse 10.
Isaiah 30 and verse 10. Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
That's why, like you were saying, why don't they see the things that we're showing them? They refuse to see it.
See, you got that telepathy going on. That's exactly what I was about to say. So go ahead. You got it.
They refuse. They don't want to see it. Go ahead.
Speak unto us smooth things.
Meaning things that won't hurt our feelings. Tell us good things that we want to hear, like all nations, like the white man can make it. Those are the smooth things our people want to hear. Like money will solve all our problems. Put Harriet Tubman on the back of is it the $5 bill?
20.
10?
20.
20? And all our problems will go away. You're a fool. Go ahead.
Prophesy deceits.
You see that? That's what it means about smooth things. Prophesying deceits is the smooth things. Go ahead.
Get you out of the way.
This is what they say to the prophets of God. This is what they say to us. Get out of our way, you Israelites. Go ahead.
Turn aside out of the path.
Turn aside out of the path of right. Go ahead.
Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
We don't want to hear the Holy One of Israel. We want to hear white Jesus for all nations, but not that Holy One of Israel.
Right.
Because to acknowledge and admit you're Israel admits and acknowledge you have sinned. And in order to get in God's good graces through Christ, we must do what? Keep the commandments. Keep the commandments. Keep God's laws. We don't want that. Even your people in the Kemetic community that love to say the lie, the 42 negative confessions, my brother, is where Moses copied the 10 Commandments. That's a lie. Because the laws came from the time of who? Adam. That's how they knew about the sacrificial law. That's how Noah knew the difference between clean and unclean. That's how Cain knew those that find me will kill me, because he knew the law, thou shalt not kill.
Exactly.
So I keep running around with these dumb, stupid comedics with their sagging lips who don't know nothing. And even I just said it, I forgot that quick. The 42 negative confessions, which one of them people in the Kemetic community is keeping
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Because they plagiarized our laws. None of them, not near one of them, is keeping God's laws.
They ain't even keeping those.
Exactly. A lot of them up in jail for selling drugs. You all right? A lot of them in jail for selling drugs, sleeping with strippers with blonde hair. Are you kidding me? Walking around talking about what is the word of that stupid thing? The metuneta got to be deciphered, my brother. You don't even know English. Talk about the metuneta. Our people is crazy. What verse we left off at?
Verse 12.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word.
We despise this word, the Bible. Go ahead.
And trust in oppression.
What is the oppression we trust in? White supremacy. Whatever name you want to call it, whether you call it Christianity, that's oppression. Whether you call it democracy, that's oppression. Whether you call it liberalism, conservatism, whatever ism, that's oppression. It's oppression. Because none of that is for our good. Go ahead.
And perverseness.
And we trust in perverseness. Hand me a condom. I sleep with who I want with, when I want, what I want. I'm a trisexual. Don't edit that. Somebody will edit that and say, see, he's a trisexual. He'll try anything.
Go in the spirit. Don't even wear one. Go in the spirit.
Yeah. One dude said, go in the spirit. Don't even wear a condom. Go in the spirit and have sex with whoever you want. Israelites said that, by the way. I was like, oh, God. Put on a spiritual condom. Our people is insane. Our people is crazy. Read that verse again.
Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon.
You know what's funny? They said Russia, listen good to this, Russia hacked the elections, the votes. But, excuse me, I have a question. Didn't Hillary get 2 million more votes than Trump? I'm like, what do you mean the Russians hacked it? Then, maybe they mean Russia hacked the delegates, those the electoral. Maybe they hacked that. But then was a week or two ago, the delegates had to go back and cast their vote again to reaffirm. So Russia hacked that too. I'm like, everything's a lie in this system. A lie. And people be like, yeah. Russia's wicked. Yeah, they are wicked, but America always got some plot, and they use the media to manipulate American society, Babylon the Great. That's what they do. So now, give me Baruch 3:36. So like I said, they want to replace the Bible with multiculturalism, with Christianity, with the LGBT community, with economics. Watch what God says in Baruch 3:36.
Baruch chapter 3, verse 36. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob, his servant, and to Israel, his beloved.
The Bible's only for the Israelites. So that all-inclusiveness, that the Bible is the book of all nations, it's a lie according to the Bible. He has found out all the ways of knowledge. I don't know if we really understand how heavy that verse is. Read it again, Captain.
He hath found out all the way of knowledge.
Do you know what that means? He found out all the ways of knowledge, meaning all the knowledge in the earth is found and summed up in the Bible. Black people can't keep $1 in their pocket. Guess what? In order to keep money in your pocket, how to organize and strategize, it's in the Bible. We just have to be wise enough to sit down and read it. When Egypt, who these Negroes glorify, was about to go into famine, who can tell me what happened? Who can tell me when Egypt was about to go into a dearth and be starved out, what happened? In the back of my left with glasses. Give me your name. The real no. Yeah, go ahead.
Leadership, Brother Azariah.
Azariah.
God had revealed Joseph the plan, to Pharaoh how to store the food for the past 7 years.
Exactly. The real economists came to Egypt and said there's going to be a 7-year famine. He said, all the wheat, take 1/5 of it and put it aside and don't touch it for years. Leave it there. So when we read that, we sit back and go, how come I'm always broke? Where if we just opened up the ways of knowledge, put 1/5 aside, and I never tried that. I don't know nothing about that. Maybe if I apply that, I'll have some daggone money in my pocket. But we don't want that. So God said what again?
He hath found out all the way of knowledge.
Examine that. All the ways of knowledge. When it says all the ways of knowledge, it means that. Whatever level or foundation of knowledge you can think of, it's in the Bible. Our spiritual eyes just got to be open to see it. Go ahead, read it again.
He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and hath given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved.
So the Bible is our book. The Bible is not for all nations. How important is the Bible? Give me 1 Maccabees 56. 1 Maccabees 1:56 to 59. I'm going to show you how important the Bible is. That all the nations know how important our book is to us. Watch what the Greeks did to us.
1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 56.
We're going to read down to 57, 56, 57, I think it is.
And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
You see how important our book was? The white man set up a law. It said burn up their books, burn up their records, and anybody that's found with any testament of their records, kill them. Why? Because the white, now when you read historically, when you read during the time of Ptolemy, the Greek, he got 72, correct me if I'm wrong, of the best of the scholars of Israel, of all 12 tribes. And he had all the records translated into Greek and put it in a library in Alexandria. They said, we need that. We need a copy of their records. But it was illegal for us to read it. Why? Because it's our book. The knowledge is meant for us to see, delve into, and bring forth into being. The Greeks said, we don't want that to happen. Keep them from their book. That's what they want to do again today. That's why the Kemetic community, all of them, get rid of that Bible, as dumb as they are. Don't realize the Bible is pro-black. It ain't the Bible being, because they ain't got a problem with the Bible saying black this, black that. I'm talking about the Kemetic community. Right. They have a problem with thou shalt not commit adultery. Right. They got a problem with thou shalt not steal. Right. They got a problem with thou shalt love your neighbor as you love yourself. I ain't quoting it right. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Right. They got a problem with that. So they want to get rid of the Bible. They got a problem with one wife. They got a problem with that. They got a problem about there shall be no whoremongers in Israel. They have a problem with that. So what do? Condemn the Bible. That's the white man's book, my brother. That's what they do. Go ahead, Lob.
Bishop, read that verse again, brother.
Verse 57. And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death.
They show you the testimony. The testimony of the Bible is your history. You see, by reading that, that's why they say get rid of their history. That's what the king said. Whatever they find their book, burn it up. Because burning your history, you're never going to find yourself where you're going to be. If you don't know where you come from, why would you know where you're going? He said, burn that thing up. We don't want them to go back there. You understand? Their kings, the other nation understand that. The Bible is our history. The testimony is the history of the nation of Israel.
You got it? Read it for me, y'all. So tell them where you at.
This is out of the this book entitled The Complete Works of Josephus. This is in the section, one of the chapters entitled Antiquity of the Jews. This is speaking about what the bishop mentioned concerning Book 7. On page 246, it speaks about Ptolemy. It says, and when once Ptolemy asked him about how many tens of thousands of books he had collected, he replied that he had already about 20 times 10,000, but that in a little time he should have 50 times 10,000. But he said he had been informed that there were many books of laws, among the Jews worthy of inquiring after, and worthy of the king's library. This is what you was talking about with Alexandria. Worthy of the king's library, but which being written in characters and in the dialect of their own, will cause no small pains in getting them translated into the Greek tongue.
The Greek Septuagint. It's 200 BC. Okay, 200 years before Christ walked the earth, they had all our records, and that included the Apocrypha was in it. Okay, give me Romans 3, because we just read in Baruch 3:36, God found out all the ways of knowledge and gave it to Jacob, Israel. Some Christian right now saying, no, that's only in the Apocrypha. That ain't in the Bible, the regular Bible that I know. Give me that Romans 3 about the Bible. Let's see who the Bible, the oracles of God was given to. What verse you going to start at for me? 'Cause I ain't looking at it.
Verse 1.
Go ahead.
Romans 3, verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way.
So there's an advantage to being a Jew. How much of an advantage? In all ways. That's what much every way means. Go ahead.
Chiefly.
The main advantage you have being a Jew is what?
Because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
The Bible. The Bible. So Romans 3:2 is telling you the Bible was committed to the Jews. It was not given to all races on the earth. Does everybody understand English? See, the Bible is the book of all races. It is not. The Bible is our records and how each nation related to us. We chronicle what they did to us, how they interacted with us. In our book, that's our book.
Bishop, we will
get mad if you want.
We will.
Call your mama.
Exactly. We will understand exactly what you said. They say, yeah, we reading it, because you asking them, whose book is the Bible? We say Israel, because that's what we reading, right? That only lasts until white folks show up. Right. White man gets you in front of a camera, and he says, will you tell me about that again? And stuttering. And you know what the book says. You know what we just read. You know it's clear. All of a sudden now, because they there, we don't speak it now. Now all of a sudden we forgot the words. Check out that spirit. Check that out.
You notice that we read in Isaiah 30:8. Read that again, Isaiah, because it just popped in my head. Isaiah 30:8. Watch this.
Isaiah 30:8. Now go, write it before them in the table.
Who is the them? Who is the them? Write it before them. The Israelites. Go ahead.
And note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever.
Wait a minute. You know what that's saying? God left the Bible for us. I'm going to say it again. God left the Bible for us. Read it again.
They ain't get it.
Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book.
What is the book, brothers? The Bible. Go ahead.
That it may be for the time to come.
What does that part mean? That it may be for the time to come. There's a scripture in the New Testament that confirms, that backs this up. Romans 15:4 backs this up.
Right, get that. The Bible is our records. That's our legacy, left and handed down to the hell. The white man had it and gave it to you. Yes. Who do you think orchestrated that whole thing? The Most High, the God of heaven and earth.
The so-called white man can't do nothing without the Most High. He can't even wake up out of the bed in the morning without the Most High. So what the hell's anybody worrying about his week behind for?
Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime,
that's the book, noted in a book,
were written for our learning,
that it may be for the time to come,
that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
That's the reason why it was written in Isaiah. That's clear. That's easy to understand. There's no hard language in that. That's easy. Those two scriptures go together like cookies and milk.
And you know how heavy the Most High is? Our people don't realize when it comes to strategy. See, a Negro don't know nothing about strategy. No. How awesome and powerful is God Almighty? I'm going to show you how powerful he is. Give me Daniel 11:14. Let me show y'all something. No. I'm going to show you how heavy he is. He's a true strategist. You don't know nothing about strategy. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 11 and verse 14. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south.
The king of the south is the Ptolemy dynasty. Go ahead.
Also the robbers of thy people.
The robbers of thy people were the Herodians. I'm going to say it again. The robbers of thy people were the people of Herod. Out of Herod the Great, you had, what's his name, the father's name? Give me the father's name. Antipater, thank you. Antipater, you had Herod. Through that line, you had King Agrippa. You had Berenice, all of them. The house of Herod. Read that part again. Watch this. I'm going to get to a point.
Also the robbers of thy people.
They robbed our nationality. They robbed our records. Go ahead.
Shall exalt themselves to establish the vision.
They established the vision that they are the Jews, that they are Jewish. Go ahead.
But they shall fall.
They shall fall. What does that got to do with what I'm talking about? The Most High had all that laid out for us so that they would hold our records. This is our records. Dumb bastard, excuse my language. They cleaved to our records. Now that is in the Bible. Get the scripture, because I know somebody wants to send me a letter now.
Well, let me help you out. Zechariah 9 and 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
Who knows where Ashdod is today? Ezekiel. Where's Ashdod?
Modern day Tel Aviv,
That's
Israel.
Tel Aviv today. So the Bible says a bastard shall dwell in Tel Aviv. That's where you got all them daggone gay rights over there too. The largest gay movement is over there.
Let me read it, Bishop.
Yeah.
Zechariah 9 and 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines.
So that bastard is in the Bible. So I know some of y'all gasped when I said those bastards. I'm saying a biblical word. So, yeah, it's a healthy word. Makes my teeth white, you bastard. Give me Romans 2. So the Most High, like I was saying, he's a strategist because the Kemetic community tries to use the argument. You hear many dumb, or the white man, he gave us that book. That was always our book. The proof is in the book. When you read it, it's very pro-black. Okay? And like Deacon Yawasab said, it's the most anti-Edomite book you will read. I worded it like the anti-white. That's what it is, because it's talking about Jacob and Esau. Everybody understand that? So now, we were talking about the church. We were talking about the church being allegedly so spiritual, but nobody praying for vengeance, nobody praying for deliverance, nobody praying for the unity of our peoples. We were talking about that. Not only that, you have Israelites that fall under that too. And let me tell you something. God hates hypocrisy. I'm going to tell you brothers that again for you that go out on the street. God hates hypocrisy. Start that. Romans 2. Let's start at 3. Romans 2. Let's read down.
Romans 2 and verse 3. And thinkest thou this, O man, that judgest them which do such things, and doest the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of God?
Read it again, because I want you brothers to listen good. I want you to listen real good to this. Come on.
And thinkest thou this, O man, that judgest them which do such things?
We judge those people according to the scriptures. Now, judgment he's talking about is teaching. When our people sin, we get on them. Right or wrong, brothers? Go ahead.
And doest the same?
You see the problem? And doest the same. You out teaching, but you're doing the same thing you're getting on the rest of the people for doing. Now, Paul is addressing this primarily to the Israelite brothers who were the scribes and Pharisees. But I want all of us to relate what we're reading to us today. Go ahead.
That thou shalt escape the judgment of God?
So do you think as a teacher that you're going to escape the judgment of God if you're guilty of teaching against sins that you're doing? Go ahead.
Or despisest thou the riches of his goodness and forbearance and long suffering, not knowing that the goodness of God leadeth thee to repentance?
The goodness of God leadeth us to repentance. Go ahead, meaning change our ways according to the law. Go ahead.
But after thy hardness and impenitent heart.
Impenitent means unrepentant. Impenitent means unrepentant. But after thy hardness and unrepentant heart, go ahead.
Treasurest up unto thyself wrath against the day of wrath.
You know what it means to lay up for yourselves treasures of wrath against the day of wrath? Meaning you're busy condemning people for being lesbian, homosexual, a thief, a liar, drug dealer, drug user, whatever it is. But meanwhile, back at the ranch. Go ahead.
The day of wrath and revelation of the righteous judgment of God, who will render to every man according to his deeds. To them who by patient continuance in well-doing seek for glory and honor, immortality, eternal life.
Verse 7. To them who by, watch this, brothers, patient continuance in well-doing. I'm going to read that part again. Patient continuance in well-doing. You know what that means? The well-doing is God's laws. We have to be what, brothers? Patient. Patient. What does that mean? We may stumble today. Some of us may stumble. Let's get back up and start again. That's what Paul is saying in patient continuance and well-doing. Read.
To them who by patient continuance in well-doing seek for glory and honor and immortality, eternal life.
Stop. Seek for glory and honor. Here's the part I wanted. And immortality, eternal life. Hold this real quick. Give me Romans 6:23. Let me tell you something. The 1/3 that is delivered from the lands of destruction will be immortal, eternal. They're not going to die. I heard a brother say that. They're not going to die. Here's the proof again.
Romans 6 verse 23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord.
So the gift is when we're caught up through the fire. We're taken through major destruction, brought into the wilderness, dealing with God, Christ I'm making reference to, face to face. He's going to give us immortality. That is the gift of God. That's eternal life. Not, oh, I'm having a heart attack, I'm about to drop. That's not going to happen. Go back now to Romans 2. Paul is saying the same thing again in verse 7.
Romans 2 verse 7. To them who by patient continuance in well-doing seek for glory and honor and immortality, eternal life.
You see what we're all seeking for? Seeking for glory and honor and immortality, eternal life. That is the gift going to be given to the 1/3 that makes it out of this hell. Go ahead.
But unto them that are contentious.
Contentious means you like to argue. You like strife. You like to go back and forth. But to them who are argumentative,
and do not obey the truth.
You don't obey the truth in Christ. You don't obey God's laws. Go ahead.
But obey unrighteousness.
But you obey unrighteousness.
Indignation and wrath.
Indignation and wrath is prepared for you. What else?
Tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil.
So all Israel that doeth evil, watch this.
Of the Jew first.
Of the kingdom of Judah first.
And also of the Gentile.
Meaning the scattered Israelites. But so any of us that is meddling, that do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, all these things are in store for us. Go ahead, verse 11.
You skipped verse 10.
10. Go ahead.
But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first.
The kingdom of Judah first.
And also to the Gentile.
That's the kingdom of Israel, which are the scattered Israelites. Go ahead.
For there is no respect of persons with God.
So there's no respect of persons with God out of our 12 tribes. That's what he's talking about. From there, give me Jeremiah 10. All of us have internal struggles that we battle with. Everybody talks about they hate police brutality, right? Is that right, brothers? Everybody hates police brutality. So does Black Lives Matter. Let me preface it by Jeremiah 10, 1 through 4.
Jeremiah 10, verse 1 through 4.
Well, listen good. Everybody listen good to this.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe.
Once they cut that tree down, watch what they do.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
The custom was to decorate that tree with real silver and real gold. So most of us today are poor, so we decorate it with silver tinsel and gold tinsel. Watch this. Somebody said in Jamaica, so what's the problem with that? Well, number one, God says don't celebrate that. Number two, give me Deuteronomy 7:25. I want y'all to follow along. I'm going somewhere. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 25 and 26.
Deuteronomy 7 and 25. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them.
Did we just read that you decorate the tree with silver and gold? So the Christmas tree is an idol. Go ahead.
Nor take it unto thee.
Watch this.
Lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God.
Here it comes.
Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house.
Those of you that got Christmas trees in your house, those listening, those up in here maybe. Go ahead.
Lest thou be a cursed thing like it.
You see that? Lest you be a cursed thing like it.
But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
So to set up a Christmas tree and bring it into your house, God says you're becoming a what, brothers? A cursed thing. Christmas, so-called Christmas, is a demonic abomination. It is evil. Everybody says they hate police brutality. I'm going back to that original statement. They hate police brutality. Black Lives Matter hate police brutality too. Let's play the video about Christmas. Killings. Listen good for those of you. Christmas Day. Here we go.
Now, police in the U.S. city of Chicago are investigating over 24 cases of gun violence over just a Christmas holiday weekend alone.
Detectives are investigating 27 shooting incidents, 12 of which were fatal. The violence primarily occurred in areas with historical gang conflicts on the south and west sides of the city. We now know that the majority of these shootings and homicides were targeted attacks by gangs against potential rival gang members and groups who were at holiday gatherings. These were deliberate.
The Chicago Police Superintendent said that several of the shooting incidents were acts of retaliation by one gang against another, as you just heard. He added that 90% of the shooting
Pause right there. Can you read Deuteronomy? Because I'll remember, hold this, watch this. I'm going to tie it back to the beginning of the class. Give me Romans 7:14. I'm seeing who's thinking up in here.
Romans 7:14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
We know that the law is spiritual. We just read in Jeremiah 10, don't put a Christmas tree in your house decorated with silver and gold. Now give me Deuteronomy 7:26. The law is spiritual. I don't understand.
Deuteronomy 7:26. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house.
The abomination of their false idols were decorated with silver and gold like the Christmas tree. Now he's going to explain why.
Lest thou be a cursed thing like it, but thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
So now you bring this curse into your house and have a holiday party. 12 people murdered. Then sit back in church. Lord Jesus, I don't understand. Our people are simple as hell. The law is spiritual. You break God's laws, things are going to occur. You have to know the Bible and understand why this occurred. Most people look at this and go, I don't understand, but are you kidding me? Yes.
Bishop, most people listen and say, this is a good holiday. Why these evil things happen?
Yes.
That's what their mind telling them. Don't know that it's because of the evil holiday. That's what this evil thing is happening.
Exactly. They'll just blame it on ignorant black men killing each other. It's deeper than that, brothers and sisters. God says, don't bring those idols into your house lest you be cursed. Now the spirit of death goes through there. 12 people killed, and it tells you Chicago's off the chain. And everybody's confused now. I don't understand what's going on, Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel.
Exactly. You know what's heavy about it? It's hard to think in the mind of a criminal, but you heard the chief say that it was gang rivalry, and they thought about what is the best time for me to get a rival on that family. When all those dumb folk come around to celebrate that tree, that's when I'm gonna pop most of them. That's what he was. That's the reason why they did it on that day, because they know that the dumb behind's gonna be doing the mistletoe foolishness around the tree. They said we're gonna get them all, get everybody.
Exactly.
And the Most High said, send the death angels to do it, because they shouldn't have been around that damn tree in the first place.
Exactly. Now these are more reasons why the Kemetic community despise the Bible. Our people want to stay in evil and sin and not acknowledge their fault and say, yes, Lord, I'm wrong. Forgive me, Father. Nobody wants to do that. So they condemn the Bible. And when by bringing this out, we are condemned as evil men. We're giving you the spiritual understanding of why these things are occurring. Let's play the video on.
Had criminal records. Police official also pointed out to a high level of activity among armed groups and called on policymakers to take serious measures to reduce gun violence. Christmas weekend shootings occurred during a year of record bloodshed in America's third largest city. According to U.S. media reports, over 750 people have been killed in Chicago this year alone. And now Mr. John Stepling is joining us out of Norway, author and commentator. Hello, Mr. Stepling. Thanks for joining us on the program, sir. Now, what are your thoughts on why there's such a deep...
They interviewed John Stepling. He is a scholar from Norway. They don't want nobody from America. No. They said, let's go to Norway. Maybe he can figure out the problem that black people are going through in America. Back up just a little bit to when he first comes on. Just a little bit. Go ahead.
Mr. Stepling, thanks for joining us on the program, sir. Now, your thoughts on why is there such a deep-rooted culture of gun violence in the United States?
Well, I mean, this is a country that was founded on slavery and the genocide of Native Americans. Violence has been a part of U.S. culture since the beginning. But you have to look at when discussions take place about gun violence or gang violence, as in Chicago this weekend, you really have to understand that the United States is the #1 manufacturer of weapons globally. We sell weapons to everybody. This is a society that is carrying out 7 wars, I think, as we speak. You can't separate the export of violence and weaponry to the global South from, the institutional violence, police violence against communities, poor communities in the United States, especially black. None of these things can be separated. The black poor in the United States are essentially a colonized, occupied population. The judicial system is racist, the police are racist, there's acute inequality in cases that are prosecuted, there's inequality in sentencing and so forth. So all of these factors are intertwined. And the other thing is the way the media covers these stories is usually very telling. Gang violence will perpetuate an image that you see in Hollywood about the dangerous inner city and criminal black youth and so forth. Yet there'll be very little coverage of the white rape culture on university campuses and so forth. There's a very selective coverage, and it's to perpetuate a certain kind of mythology.
And Mr. Stepling, I've been to the Chicago South Side, and it's completely there's a stark difference from other parts of Chicago. Buildings are run down, schools are in horrible condition, windows are shot out, and it seems like there's no money spent on infrastructure to build or modify. I mean, they look like they're 60, 70 years old, the buildings there, as opposed to other parts of the city.
Of course. Of course. And this kind of inequality can be found in every major American city, every single one. The inequality today in the United States has I think, been unequaled. Maybe, you know, during the Gilded Age or something, there was something approaching this. But no, of course, you know, the culture, the society is awash in guns. There's guns everywhere. There's guns in media. There's violence in media. And then you have populations with no opportunity, no education, no chance for social advancement of any sort. And they're the ones that are the most policed, the most violently oppressed by, you know, the institutions of authority, and the most demonized in the coverage of this violence. But yes, of course, this is the infrastructure is in decay now, and there's also a kind of criminalization of poverty taking place in the United States now.
I have to go, Mr. Stepling. Sorry, I only have a couple minutes to get my last interview in. Sorry for cutting you off. Thank you for your valuable contribution to the program. This is Mr. John Stepling, author and commentator, joining us out of Norway.
Hold on a second. Now, listen now. When that man got up on the set to speak, tell the truth, y'all felt a sense of relief, didn't you? Because a white man said it. He didn't say anything that we haven't heard black men say, that we didn't say. We've been saying these things and more for years. But until the white man says it, then people will start listening to it. E.F. Hutton. E.F. Hutton. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't sit there and act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. We felt relief. Said, well, finally, Jesus acknowledges our problems. We used to do that in camp. We used to be teaching, and we used to get the white man that be on the side, come up here and say a few words. And when he take the microphone, he'll be talking. Negroes haven't figured out that we got a white man speaking. We'd have to get the Negroes, hey, Negroes, listen, we got a white man speaking now. And when we say that, then they'll start listening. And he used to tell the black people that they were the Jews, that they're the Israelites and all that. He used to call white people Esau. So you know a lot of white people hated him. Y'all understand? But it just goes to show, I've seen this before.
Now, this Edomite, he said a mouthful, but it's not, you hear many liberal, he's a liberal, that's why he's in Norway. He said he knows all this, but he will do nothing to help change the plight of black people that he sees clearly, as many of them do. He said the United States was founded on slavery and genocide of blacks and Native American Indians, which is true. Give me that in Psalms 55:21. I'm going to just take us through this to show you that the Bible is pro-black, that the Bible is pro our peoples. Psalms 55:21.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
When a white man talks, it's like butter. Like Deacon, what's up talking about butter? When a white man talks, you notice everybody relaxes, we get attentive. White man talking now. When a white man talk, he talk about his religious policies, his political policies, and it's like smooth like butter. Read it again.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
You see that? But war was in his heart. That's what he did with Gad with the American Indians. He came over here talking smooth things. Oh, we are starving here. Can you help us get through the winter, oh Native American? Please help us. As soon as they helped them, he said, give them, what do they call it, American?
Smallpox.
Give them smallpox on blankets. Kill them off, kill them off, kill them off. That's what they do. That's what they have done. Give me Jeremiah 22:13, please. White man talk, his words are smoother than butter. All inclusive. He loves everybody. But war is in his heart. Come on.
Jeremiah chapter 22, verse 13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness.
Did the white man build America by unrighteousness? Go ahead.
And his chambers by wrong.
Uh-huh.
That useth his neighbor's service without wages.
That uses his neighbor's service without wages. That's going into slavery and colonialism. Go ahead.
And giveth him not for his work.
Did he give our people anything for their work? No. Slavery and colonialism. From there, give me Habakkuk 1 verse 9.
Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 9.
Come on.
They shall come all for violence.
They shall come all for what?
For violence.
For violence. Go ahead. Remember the man said America was founded on violence. The Bible says they come all for what? Peace?
Violence.
Uh-huh.
Their faces shall sup up as the east wind.
Because they came from the east, from beginning with Spain and Rome. Was that it?
And they shall gather the captivity.
They shall gather the Israelites. That's the captivity it's talking about.
As the sand.
As the sand. Give me Micah 2 and 12. The Bible's a white man's book. Oh, shut up. I can't take the Kemetic community. They make me angry. They annoy me. Micah 2 and 12.
Micah 2 and 12. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel.
No, I don't want that. I want verse 2. I think it is. The one about...
Micah 2 and 2.
Yes, thank you.
And they covet fields.
They covet fields. This is about the white man. They covet fields. Go ahead.
And take them by violence.
How did they vote for the fields they took here in America?
And take them by violence.
By violence. Go ahead.
And houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Did he oppress our heritage? Yes. How did he oppress our heritage? He took it. He took our heritage and claimed our heritage as his heritage. He said he's the Jews and he's the Christians. He's the Israelite. That's what he's done. Read again.
And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Give me Matthew 11 and 12 about the kingdom of heaven. What Christ said about Rome.
Matthew 11 and 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence.
You see that? The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. A Christian can't explain this verse. The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. Go ahead.
And the violent take it by force.
And the violent take it by force. Take what? The kingdom of heaven. Does that mean the violent, which were the Romans, flew up into the sky and took God's throne? No. It means Rome took the land of Israel. Rome took Jerusalem. So what is Jerusalem, Israel? The kingdom of heaven. That's what most people don't realize. Everybody understand that? So number 2, that Edomite, well, I forgot his name that quick, John Stepling or something like that. He said the United States is the #1 manufacturer of weapons globally. He said the United States sells weapons to everybody, including, I'm going to tell you something they didn't say. When he said everybody, he did say, but nobody picked up on it. He sells weapons to everybody, including ISIS. He said America is currently in 7 wars. You know how to check that thing out. I said America's in 7 wars. Let me check it out. Give me the next article. Write this down. Just play the video. Jill Stein, Green Party candidate, correct about United States bombing 7 countries. Let's play the video. In October 17th speech in Austin, Texas, Jill Stein claimed that the United States is currently in 7 wars. That's her. Is this true? Stein is correct. The United States has recently bombed 7 countries: Pakistan, Somalia, Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, and Libya. We're already bombing 7 countries. Jill Stein said October 17, 2016. True fact. So America has bombed now 7 countries we're at war with. 7. So this man says America makes weapons globally for that's why I said they sell weapons to ISIS too. That is true. Give me Habakkuk 2, verse 5 through 9. Habakkuk chapter 2, 5 through 9. America is the most violent nation on earth. And the man said, you cannot separate what America does globally to what they do. What's the word he used? Domestically. That ain't the word, but I know that is correct word. It's the same thing. You can't separate the two. They violent to our people in the country. Guess what? They violent to people outside the country too. Read that. Habakkuk 2, 5 through 9, please.
Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine.
This is what we read earlier. The wine is what, brothers? Lies and falsehood. Which, if you want to make it political, his policies. That's what it's going into. His political agendas. Go ahead.
He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
He don't just stay in America. He's everywhere. And the proof is they just bombed 7 different countries. Go ahead.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death.
This man is as death, the Bible says.
And cannot be satisfied.
You can't satisfy this man. You can give him $1 trillion. You'll be like, nah, I'm not satisfied. The book of Obadiah.
Yes.
Tells you, God tells you the mentality of Edom. He said, if thieves came by night to you, wouldn't they leave some grapes? He said the white man takes everything, not just the grape and the vine. He takes the soil the vine is in. And the people standing on the ground. He cannot be satisfied. Go ahead.
But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
That's proof it's the United States of America. This is the great melting pot. Go ahead.
Shall not all these take up a parable against him?
Shall not all the nations they have spoiled take up a parable against this man, the white man? Go ahead.
And a taunting proverb against him, and say?
Say what?
Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Woe to him that increases that which is not his, because they put their flag, their embassies all over the world. Go ahead.
How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
The thick clay is going into the peoples. Okay, go ahead.
Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee?
Shall not these nations that they have bombed and spoiled rise up? Rise up from what? Sleep. It's called sleeper cells. Rise up from sleep, and they shall what? Do what, Isaac?
Bite thee?
Bite thee means bomb them. That's what it means. Bite them means attack them. You just saw that in Berlin when they got in the truck and ran 12 of them over? America and her allies are at war. I want all y'all to listen good. America and her allies are at war. The nations that they have robbed and spoiled hate America and her allies. Go ahead.
And awake that shall vex thee.
You see that? And awake. Awake from what? Sleep. What do they call sleeper cells? Awake that shall what?
Vex thee.
Vex thee means bomb you, attack you. This is a terrorism prophesied in the Bible. Come on.
And thou shalt be for booties unto them.
Thou shalt be for booties unto them, meaning spoils. The nations want to rob this place. Go ahead.
Because thou hast spoiled
now
many
God's
nations.
giving you the reason why the nations want to destroy the white man. God is telling us why the nations hate the white man and her allies. Why?
Because thou hast spoiled many nations.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations. Because thou hast spoiled many nations. Was that it, Captain?
Nope. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee.
All the remnant of the nations you spoil shall spoil you. So we got to come out of the American Christian state of mind. I wonder why these terrible things is happening. Why? You know why. Read your book. Your ancestors prophesied these things would happen. We got to now read the Bible with Israelite eyes. This is why the Greeks said take the book from them. Get it out of their hands so they won't know what is to come. Was that it, Captain?
Because of men's blood and for the violence of the land.
And for the because of men's blood and for what?
The violence of the land.
The violence of the land. This man did not get what they got. The wealth and riches that they got through voting. You've got to be kidding me. God's telling us they got it through violence. Was that it?
Of the city and of all that dwell therein.
From there. This man also said you can't separate the export of violence and weaponry to the global parts. You can't separate it from institutional violence. Institutional, systematic violence that is associated with our people, blacks, Latinos, Native Indians, here in America. He said it's one and the same. The same evil and atrocities they do outside the country, they do within the country. White man told you that. Give me 1 Ezra 5:73.
First Esdras, chapter 5 and verse 73. And by their secret plots.
Secret? Most of us did not know about America bombed 7 countries. The media does not come out and say, hey, America does A, B, C, D, E, F. They don't do that. They tell you about all the evils in the country, like what's the guy's, the head over Syria, what's his name? President Bashar or something like that.
Assad, yeah.
Oh, he's so evil. Oh, look at him. We need to go over there and help the people. Look, they want our help. You don't understand the diabolical process of America, do you? Read that again.
And by their secret plots.
The Bible says these nations give forth secret plots. Go ahead.
And popular persuasion.
Popular persuasion is done through their media. Go ahead.
And commotion.
And commotions, tumults of the people. That's your Democrats and your Republicans.
They hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived.
So now, that verse is what the nations did to the Israelites. But remember what Esau just said. He said you can't separate what they do to the blacks and Latinos in the country from what they do outside the country. The same way with their popular persuasions, they get all nations against us through popular persuasion. Everybody hates a nigga. Then they do the same thing outside the country with all the other, with the people of Afghanistan, with the people of Somalia, okay, with the people in Syria. America does the same thing without the country, within the country. Give me Habakkuk 3 and 14, please. Habakkuk 3 and 14.
Habakkuk chapter 3 and 14. Thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages.
This is talking about the second coming of Christ, which America is trying to prevent, which America does not want you to believe in or accept. Read it again.
Thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages.
Christ is going to strike the heads of the countries on this world. Go ahead.
They came out as a whirlwind to
the armies of the world came out against Christ as a what?
As a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly.
You see what they do? The Bible tells you their rejoicing is to devour the poor. Let me explain the poor. Give me that. I think it's Isaiah 32, the last verse. I could be mistaken. It talks about the poor. Somebody help me. Find that for me. Help me out there. 14 verse 32. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I want. Isaiah 14, I think it's the last verse 32. Thank you. That's it.
Isaiah 14, verse 32. What shall one then answer the messengers of the nation? That the Lord hath founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it.
Zion, the poor of his people. It's talking about poor in spirit. Because we ain't got nothing. We don't know nothing. We are the poor. In spirit, is making a reference to we are the poor of his people. We are Zion. So go back now to where you was at in Habakkuk.
Habakkuk 3:14. Thou didst strike through with his staves the head of his villages. They came out as a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly.
They want to devour the Israelites secretly. Secret. They're not going to come out on the news and say, hey, we trying to kill all you niggas and spics. They're not going to do that. But Christ revealed in the Bible, they're doing it secretly. Okay? With their allegedly medical advances. We're going to talk about that another week. Their medicine, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, their politics, their religions, it's all meant to devour us, destroy us. Okay? Give me Baruch 4:32, please. Baruch chapter 4 and verse 32.
Baruch chapter 4 and verse 32. Miserable are the cities which thy children
You want to know why all the cities where blacks and Latinos live, there's always turmoil here? The Bible's telling you right here. Read it again.
Miserable are the cities which thy children served.
They're not going to understand the level of misery that's going to come. Read it again.
Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation.
This place is going to be desolated, according to the Bible. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
So the Bible says the cities where our people serve are miserable cities. This is why you see turmoils amongst the people. This is why you see hurricanes, storms, tornadoes, death at a phenomenal rate. Why? Because they have the children of Israel in captivity. and judgment is a coming. From that, that Edomite also said, he made a statement. He said, poor blacks are colonized, occupied population. We are a colonized, occupied population. He said the judicial system is racist. The police are racist. He said there's acute inequality in cases prosecuted and sentenced. We see that all the time. But let's see what the Bible says. Give me Psalms 94:20.
That's what that documentary 13 is all about.
Right. He also, when he got cut off, he was going into the inequality. He said white males are raping on college campuses at a phenomenal rate that are not, the media don't discuss it.
Yeah, he said that while we was watching it because he said the objective is to formulate the imagery against you.
Exactly. To demonize our people. Read that.
Psalms 94:20.
So he talked about racist judicial system, racist police system. Watch what the Bible says here.
Shall the throne of iniquity
The throne of iniquity is America.
have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
They frame mischief by laws. They frame mischief by laws. That goes like when you examine, was it crack and cocaine? White men doing cocaine, they get maybe a month. Black men do a little rock of cocaine, they get 5 years. Not cocaine, crack, you get 5 years. That's just an example. Okay? Then, like I remember my brother in Texas stole a TV. You know he got 3 years for stealing a TV. 3 years for a television. Are you kidding me? These are the things, this is what it means by that famous mischief by law. Their laws are heavier on our peoples opposed to the Esau. Everybody understand that? Give me Matthew 24:9, please.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
We got to put this in perspective. The Bible, Christ says we are hated of how many nations?
All nations.
Never forget that. All nations hate us. Give me Psalms 83, 3-5. Let me see. Let me do a time check. Okay.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3.
You know, RT News just sent a report that 35 people got killed in Istanbul in a nightclub by people dressed as Santa Claus. Ho, 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 ho.
Now, if we was to say give the Most High hand, y'all look at me strange, right?
These dudes dressed as Santa Claus went in and killed. Man, we ain't seen nothing yet. Where we at? Where I say go?
You said Psalm.
Oh, the bandits was in Santa Claus
Yeah,
suits.
yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Psalms 83 verse 3.
Oh, look, here comes Santa Claus. Oh, shoot.
Now, wait a minute now. They're not going to show that on the news.
I'm
Are they
waiting to
going
see
to
if
show
they
the
show
video
it.
on the news? Could you imagine that? That would traumatize all the kids that
Yes,
want
it
to
would.
get candy and all that. Traumatize the hell out of them. Ew, bad Santa.
Bad Santa.
Psalms 83 verse 3. They have taken crafty
Start at
counsel.
2. Start at 2 to 5. 2 to 5.
Verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Notice it says enemies, plural. The enemies, what the ones we just read about in Matthew 24 and 9. Who are the enemies, Christ said, brothers? All nations. Go ahead.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They lifted up the head as God. They lifted up the head as Jesus, as the angels, as the Israelites. Go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They're so crafty, they got videos out trying to debunk this Bible as being our book. We're going to get into that in a minute, but go ahead.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
We're the hidden ones. The truth of who we are is hid in the earth. Go ahead.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That's their agenda, to cut us off from being a nation. That's why they want their multicultural teachings in the schools. Go ahead.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Another thing this Edomite said, he said Hollywood and the entire entertainment world popularize violence. They make it popular. That's what we just read in First Ezra 5:73 about how they, with their popular persuasions. Give me Isaiah 59 and 7. Isaiah 59 and 7. 59 and 7. They popularize gang violence. It's not by accident. It's not that they can't think of nothing out. It's to manipulate the minds of young black and Latin youth.
Look at these video games that they got out. These video games are loaded with all kinds of violence. I mean, realistic violence.
The white man is violent.
Right.
So
That's
he
his thing.
glorifies in that stuff.
That's his thing.
And he wants to show. See, he keeps his stuff secret. When he bombs countries, that's secret. But you go rob somebody, that'll be all over the 10 o'clock news. And how evil you are. That's what they do. Come on.
Isaiah 59 and 7. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths.
This is the white man. Give me Isaiah 5 and 20. The Bible is a white man's. Were you kidding me? Come on. Isaiah 5:20.
Isaiah 5 and 20. Woe unto them that call evil good.
This is your media. They call evil good.
And good evil.
And they call good evil. That's why they popularize violence in their movies, even in their music. They make it a good thing. Then when the less fortunate of our people who's weak-minded, easily manipulated, goes into that lifestyle, they put it all on the news and go, look what the niggas are doing. Look at them. Look what they're doing.
He becomes the poster board for evil.
Exactly. Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 12, please. Wisdom of Solomon 4, verse 12. This is what their media, which links back to popular persuasions, watch this.
For the bewitching of naughtiness.
You know what bewitching means? There's a spell on our people. I may have used the terms such as weak-minded and less fortunate of our people. Esau knows the weak-minded will be easily manipulated through music and television. Read it again.
For the bewitching of naughtiness.
Naughtiness means sin. I'm going to say it again. Naughtiness means sin, breaking God's laws. Bewitching means mass hypnosis. Mass hypnosis. That's what bewitching is. They're putting a spell of mass hypnosis on the people. And our sons and our daughters watch these things and get manipulated. Hypnotized, yes. This is what I do. I'm going to kill Johnny tomorrow. And I'm going to rob Betty too. Go ahead.
For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest.
Doth obscure, meaning make unclear things that are what?
Honest.
That are honest. Thou shalt not steal, little Johnny. No, I'm not sure what that means because I look on TV and I see people stealing. Get rich or die trying. That's what I see, Ma. Thou shalt not commit adultery. No, that's not clear to me, Ma. Because I see love and hip hop. I see basketball wives. I see Atlanta housewives. Everybody sleeping with everybody, Ma. So it's obscure to me what you're talking about with that Bible. I don't get it. Read the verse again in its entirety.
For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple
And the
mind.
wandering of concupiscence, meaning evil sexual thoughts, wandering of evil sexuality, doth what?
Undermine the simple.
Undermine the simple. Our people are simple, in case you didn't know. Our people are a simple people. So, money is never, he said there's a lack of, what did he say? Of financial opportunities. He said in terms also of our infrastructures in the black and Latin community. The government does not give money to alleged black communities except for gentrification. I threw that in. The only time money comes in black and Latin communities is when they want to is that the right word? Gentrify.
Exactly, that's it.
I saw a brother, we're on the street. He says, look, they built a bike lane for us and trees. I said, bro, pack your bags, get ready to move. How many black people don't ride bicycles?
Then
We don't give a damn about trees in the middle of the street. That's white folks.
Right. Then Starbucks came.
Yeah. You saw us saying, they gave us a Starbucks. No, brother, pack your bags, get ready, let's go. Come on, boo, let's go.
And you get the Starbucks to have the patio with the chairs and the stuff on the outside. You know that ain't for no Negroes. That's for white folks to sit there and sip on their cappuccino in safety while you're getting the hell out of Dodge.
Right. Like in Times Square, I'm Times Square. Why did they put the army barracks there? You remember why? Tell them.
The army barracks was put there because of Israel used to speak on that island.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we used to speak on that island. That was a perfect speaking place. We had the whole Times Square.
The original
one I'm
Israel.
talking about. Right. We used to tear their behinds up.
Every weekend, not just Saturday.
No,
we used to go out during the week
right,
too.
exactly.
Sometimes,
sometimes, and if we didn't get on the island, we would get on the side.
And
on the side,
the elders would bring a huge speaker and blast.
Man, you hear
everybody.
that thing for blocks, man. That
So
thing sounded good. Too.
When Giuliani came, he said, "Nah, let's build an army thing here. Let's get rid of them." Now you can sit out there and have your tea and crumpets in around 34th Street or 42nd.
44th Street. That's
No traffic can go through this particular area.
Wow.
Everybody's in the street with tea and crumpets. White folks, by the way. That's what they got. So you ain't doing that no
That's
more.
over
That's
with.
speakers. No, that's over with. So, and you know what? Nothing that we're saying, all that we've in today's class, nothing that we're saying is new. The difference is we're validating what we are saying with the Bible. Push that thought that the Bible is a white man's book from your brain. Get it out of your brain. What we've discussed let's get what I'm about to say. What we have discussed today, and as all our classes, cannot be proven in the Quran, cannot be proven in the ISIS papers, cannot be proven in the Gilgamesh epics, cannot be proven in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, or the, what is the word? Menunetta, whatever the hell that is, or the hieroglyphs that the nigga can't read in Egypt. Only the Bible substantiates what we're teaching and showing you that this is our proving that these are our records. What's the one the Rastas got? The Cabra Nagas? What is that book? Cabra, whatever the hell that is. Ain't nothing in there either. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Leave them books alone. Give me Psalms 106:35 real quick. What time is it? Okay. Psalms 106:35. So there was by us sinning against the Creator, we went into slavery. We were brought in these captivities to repent, brothers and sisters. We were brought here to repent. But this is what happened.
Psalms 106, verse 35.
Uh-huh.
But were mingled among the heathen and learned their works.
When we mingled amongst the heathen, the Bible says we learned their works. That's called, in modern day language, assimilation. We became assimilated so that we could all have one religion, one political agenda. We can be one.
Hey, it didn't say that they learned our works. We learned their works.
Right.
Assimilation.
Exactly. Read Revelation 18:4. Yes, Laba?
Yeah, man, but Bishop, all being said, like they're saying, unless everybody leave their laws, we can be one. It's not, it's a mind game. Because they were the one in power, so we're going to learn their way. You know, let all nations destroy their doctrines. Let's learn in our ways of life, the way we tell you life is.
Exactly. Read that.
Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
So when we were mingled in and learned their works, the message for our people is to come out from among them and be separate. That's the message. So that we do not, read that again, the whole verse.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
That means separate yourself spiritually and mentally. That's what it means, okay?
That ye be not partakers of her sins.
Because judgment is coming when we partake of their sins. I just said to you, though, over in Istanbul, they dressed up as Santa Claus and went wild. These sins that we are taking to ourselves because we are learning their works is going to bring forth judgments on us. That's why we read at the beginning of the class, the law is what, brothers? Spiritual. What's wrong? Christmas is for the kids. The Bible says, numbskull, you're bringing a curse to yourselves. but it's for the children. Now you're dead. Now you want to know why, Jesus, why? Read that again.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
Then you at work. Oh, I tell you many times on my job, oh, Israel, can you come to the Christmas party? No. Israel, can you come? We're going to call it a holiday party. No.
Bishop, I had one sister call and say, what if I just go to my family's Christmas party and sit in the corner with my Bible?
Oh, God. They don't realize, did we not read, when you have these idols up, you bring a curse to yourself.
Yes.
So our people, Israelites, male and female, I just want to go to my mother's house for Christmas. You bring a curse on yourself and your kids.
That's right.
Now you catch hell. Brother, can you help me? I don't understand what's going on. Simple. Our people is dumb as hell. The law is spiritual. Keep it.
That second example that you gave, you said, but I want to go see my mom and all that. It's the same thing that the gang rivals was looking for.
Yeah.
That shot up all those people because they said, I know a lot of people going to think the same way, want to get together and do the merry-go-round around the tree.
Exactly. Psalms 119:9.
And if you notice, Bishop, I like to count the numbers for Christmas and New Year's. That's the lowest. A lot of people who you'll see in the online class, you don't see them Christmas weekend and New Year's weekend.
Right, exactly. Those are your lukewarm brothers and sisters. Lukewarm. Real quick, let's read about Revelation 3:15 to show you lukewarm real quick. This is for those of you that's in here right now, who's in the middle. You know you Israel, but you still got one foot in the world. You're going to be there on New Year's Eve. Watch what the Lord says.
Revelation 3 and verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot.
Some of you Israelites, you're not cold, meaning against this truth, but you're not hot either. You're not fervently hot in this truth either. Go ahead.
I would thou wert cold or hot.
Christ said, I wish you were either cold or hot. Go ahead.
So then, because thou art lukewarm.
Because you in the middle, you straddling the fence.
And neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
Y'all know what that means? What does that mean? I will spew thee out of my mouth. Yes, you. I will spew you out of my mouth.
Shalom, Amazai. That means he's going to kill you.
That's what it means. I'm going to kill you. The Lord ain't playing with us, brothers and sisters. It ain't too. I don't get too many emails from brothers. A majority of my emails is women who want to go celebrate Christmas with family and New Year's Eve. This is the majority of the emails. And it didn't say at the end of it's just for the children. Well, then die with your kids. I want to use I have some colorful adjectives that I would like to use, but I can't. Read that Psalms 119:9, please.
Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way?
All of us want to cleanse our ways before the Lord, right? Come on.
By taking heed thereto according to thy word.
The only way we can cleanse our way before the Lord is taking heed to the word of God. Give me John 15:3. Christ said the same thing. He said the same thing to us.
John 15:3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
You see that? The only way that makes us clean is through the word, applying the word, applying the word. So now, changing our thoughts, to cleanse our way, the poem speaks volumes. We have to apply God's laws. It begins with our thoughts. Watch this regarding our thoughts in Genesis 6:5. Come on.
Genesis 6 and 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
Let's go to the New Testament, Mark 7:21, about our thoughts.
Mark 7:21. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts.
See what Christ said? Right, that's the poem. Out of the heart, meaning the mind of men, proceed evil thoughts. Proving that your heart, that when the Bible uses the word heart, it's not talking about the organ in your chest. It's talking about that organ in your head. That's where your thoughts come from. Okay. So what did it say, Captain? One more again.
For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts.
Give me 2 Ezra 14:14. Regarding our thoughts.
2 Ezra 14, verse 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts.
Let go from the mortal thoughts. Go ahead.
Cast away the burdens of man.
Cast away the burdens of man. Go ahead.
Put off now the weak nature.
Brothers, sisters, we have to put off the weak nature. Go ahead.
And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee.
We have thoughts that are very heavy to us, thoughts that trouble us. The Bible says, put it off. Put it away. That means we have to learn to discipline our thoughts. You know how you meet somebody and you don't like them, you want to punch them in the face? That's an evil thought. You got to catch, Lord, sorry. Brothers, y'all know this. You know you meet a woman and she might be bosomly equipped and your eyes go whoop, and you got to catch yourself. Lord, sorry, the thought's right. You know you be teaching at camp and you see the badunkadunk walk by and you be like, yeah, Jesus said, yeah. Evil thought, you got to discipline. Whoa, catch that. These are thoughts we have to put in check. Watching our thoughts is paramount because it leads, whatever we think will eventually come out of our mouth. That's why in a rap or some of you brothers that try to talk to sisters, you notice that after listening to these diabolical rap records, the words that come out of your mouth to a sister is something of a damn Biggie Smalls or LL Cool J. I'm old, so that's all I know. From that era. What's that song LL did about a girlfriend? What's that got to do with me? It's something. How does that song go? Hey, lover. That's it. Something about I got a man. What's that got to do with me? That one. Well, whoever the hell that was.
Positive K.
I cut all that stuff off. I cut all that off. So I'm old. But anyway, it starts to become our words. Okay, give me that. James 3:6. This is why James said this to us. I got a man. What's that got to do with me? James 3:6, please. And don't ask me about nothing about today's rappers. I couldn't tell you nothing about them. Young, with the thug who dressed like a woman. I don't know about these dudes.
Thuglicious.
Thuglicious. The hell? I pray they repent. We do pray they repent. We do love our people. Thuglicious. Read that, Captain.
James 3:6. And the tongue is a fire.
See that? The Bible says the tongue is a fire. Go ahead.
A world of iniquity.
The tongue is a world of iniquity. Go ahead.
So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body.
You know the tongue can defile your whole body, defile the whole congregation. Go ahead.
And setteth on fire the course of nature.
It can set on fire. The tongue, speaking things from your mouth can change your whole life overnight. Say the wrong thing. That's why when cops come get you, I say, Brother Coleman say, call for a lawyer. Don't say nothing. Brothers tend to sometimes brothers think they smart. Do you know Esau will tell you, everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Negro still think he's smart. That guy kept, oh yeah, really? Oh, okay. Here, sign that. Okay. Now you're in court and they're reading you everything you said. Oh, no, he set me up. He put a gun to my head. No, Jesus! Negroes think they slick, think they smart. Shut up. Yes, Lama.
You know that your thoughts, your tongues represent your thoughts. Whatever your thoughts, that's what their tongue gonna speak. So in a case of a lawyer thing, is just like your thoughts, your tongue is your lawyer. It represents you. You understand? That's why you cannot hide nothing, because you told your lawyer everything. So he's like here to represent you. So your tongue represents you. Whatever your thought saying, that's what the tongue gonna represent.
Exactly. And in this spiritual walk, guess what? Christ is our lawyer. Understand that. He's our lawyer. You tell him all that you got, all that you done did, and get it out the way. That way, because Christ is the one that speaks to the Father on our behalf. Everybody understand that? Give me Matthew 12:37. We're almost done. Almost done. Come on.
Matthew chapter 12 and verse 37. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
That's why it starts with your thoughts. Discipline your thoughts, you will begin to discipline your words. If you don't discipline your thoughts, you will not discipline your word. It's going to come out of your mouth. Christ said, by your words you shall what?
Thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
You are justified by your words when you discipline your thoughts. If you don't discipline your thoughts, you will not be justified by your words, because your words will condemn you. From there, give me 1 Samuel 2 and 3, because the next thing was actions. Thoughts become words, become actions. And this is what the Bible says. 1 Samuel 2, 3.
1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 3. Talk no more so exceedingly proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth.
Notice it's talking about your words. Go ahead.
For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed.
And by him actions are weighed. So thoughts become words, become actions, become habits. Give me Sirach 12 and 3. A habit is something you do always. You are known, you do it a lot. That's a habit. Like somebody may have a habit of when they lie, their eyes go a particular way. Or they might thrum the table. There's certain things we all do that have become, from our youth, that have become habit or habitual. Y'all understand what I'm saying, right? Read that.
What chapter you wanted, Bishop?
Sirach 12 and 3.
Sirach 12 and 3. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil.
You see that? You see that word? Bear with me a second. It just popped in my head. That's it? Okay, read that.
Sirach 23:15. The man that is accustomed to opprobrious words.
You know what accustomed is? That goes with your habit also. Read it again.
The man that is accustomed to opprobrious words.
Opprobrious words are hateful words, curse words. Go ahead.
Will never be reformed all the days of his life.
Hear what the Bible says? Will never be reformed all the days of his life. Thoughts become words, become actions, become habits, become your character. Give me that. 2 Maccabees 6:24.
Second Maccabees chapter 6 verse 24. For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10.
So Eleazar was 90 years old. A score is 20, remember that. He was 80, that's 80, right? Y'all know I can't count. Plus 10, that's 90. So, read that part again.
For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10, were now gone to a strange religion.
Eleazar built his character. Go ahead.
And so they, through mine hypocrisy.
He said, I don't want to go against law, against God's law, because I'll set an example to the young Israelites, a wrong example to the young Israelites. Go ahead.
And so they, through mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer, should be deceived by me. And I get a stain to mine old age and make it abominable.
And I get a stain to my old age. Eleazar had built his character. That comes through time and patience, brothers and sisters. Building your character comes through time and patience. So remember, thoughts become words. Words become actions. Actions become habits. Habits build your character. And your character will eventually become your destiny. Give me that in Sirach 44. 1 through 5. So discipline only comes through God's laws. It's very important for us to cleanse our ways. And cleansing our ways starts with the inner workings of our minds. All you porno brothers, listen good. Cleansing the thoughts in our minds, it begins there. Read that.
Sirach 44 verse 1.
Regarding destiny.
Let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat us. The Lord hath wrought great glory by them through his great power from the beginning, such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding and declaring prophecies.
So what we're reading about is the destiny of our fathers. Okay, go ahead.
Leaders of the people by their counsels, and by their knowledge of learning meet for the people, wise and eloquent in their instructions, such as found out musical tunes and recited verses in writing.
So their destiny, when we read all that they've done, now leads us towards the kingdom, the coming kingdom. That's the destiny we're truly trying to get to. Okay, so again, I'm going to repeat it again. We must apply God's laws to discipline our thoughts. Why? Because thoughts become our words. Our words will eventually become our actions. Our actions become our habits, and our habits become our character, and our character becomes destiny. We have to use God's laws in our lives.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.